Hey folks, Darf Caboose here, aka Sunny Fahuri. How's it going? We are back for turn 2 of our second campaign of Let's Play Labyrinth, The War on Terror, a solo game. So this is our play of the mission accomplished scenario. And if you recall from turn 1, the previous video, we had a rather rough turn. The jihadists were able to just plot like crazy. They got their funding back up to maximum, and we have to contend with having a low prestige. So we have already dealt out the hands. The victory marker chits are set, and we are good to go. So the jihadists are up with their first 2 cards. And their first card is going to be Special Forces. Play if there's a cell in an adjacent in or adjacent to a country with troops. That is the case, so this is going to be a playable U.S. event. If we consult our flowchart, we see that the jihadists will plot with that card. Okay, so this is a 1 operation card, so it's going to be a single plot. And we consult our plot chart. So in the U.S., nope. Is the prestige low? Yes. So no plotting in countries with troops. Is the job penalty greater than 0? No. But there are no cells in soft countries, so that will be skipped over. In countries with aid, there is no aid on the board, so that is that. And then, is funding equal to 9? Funding is not equal to 9, funding is 8. So they will attempt to plot in non-Muslim countries first. And then Muslim or Iran. So Iran is clumped together in that category. So let us see here. Yes, that means they're going to plot somewhere in the Muslim world. Okay, so we consult our plot priorities and we see, okay, they are first going to plot in fair countries, and then in good countries, and then in poor countries. So that results in Iran being the one that they will plot in, because that is a fair country, and that meets the criteria first. Because it says in non-Muslim, then Muslim or Iran. And I assume Muslim or Iran is, again, sort of grouped together in that same category. So when we look at the priorities, we come with Iran. So a plot will try to occur in Iran. And we roll, we get a 4. And a 4 is not a success because we need a 2 or less. So that is the end of that card. That card is gone. So next card is going to be Predator. Okay, so Predator is a playable US event. So this will be plotted with yet again. And this is 2 operations that are being plotted with. Essentially, if we follow the plotting flowchart we just did, nothing's changed. So the exact same conclusion just came up with. They will plot first in non-Muslim, then Muslim, or Iran. And so again, a plot attempt will occur in Iran, but then we have to randomly pick from the other remaining countries as to where they will plot. And there are quite a few options here. You cannot plot in Islamist ruled countries, so that is off limits. But we have a total of, it looks like 6 possibilities. We have Morocco, Egypt, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And so in exactly that order I mentioned them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we'll assign a die roll and see where it comes up. They are going to be plotting in Afghanistan. Okay, so we're going to roll 2 die, 1 for Iran, 1 for Afghanistan, so left and right. And we get a 4 and a 6. So the 4 is too high, as is the 6. So no plots there. Okay, a fresh, a break for us, I suppose. That's good to see. Alrighty. Now, the jihadist funding is essentially maxed out, so I do want to just sort of get that out of the way, I suppose. Yeah, I guess I would want them to max out their funding. And then I could immediately ding it down next turn. There is a risk of having the funding being equal to 4 because when they plot, they would immediately get to radicalization. So there is a risk there. But I am okay getting this event out of the way when the consequences are relatively... when the consequences are not that important. So we are going to go ahead and play FREs. Martyrdom Operation. Yeah, so we're going to play Martyrdom Operation for the 3 operations. And we are going to go ahead and have the event fire first. And once again, we have to consult the plot, but if you remember, the first result, even though this is an event placing and not operations, is the plots will go into Iran. So Iran gets its cadre marker replaced with 2 plots. And, I mean, we could technically spend all of our turn removing the plots there, but the only thing they are going to gain is funding up to 9, and I don't want to spend those 3 operations doing that. I want to be proactive and actually go after the jihadists. Hit them where it hurts. So we're going to go ahead and spend a 3 operations to perform a disrupt action in Afghanistan. And so this guy is going to remove the cell and replace it with a cadre marker. Now, the cadre marker still allows recruiting, but we are going to be smart and attempt again to disrupt in... we're going to go ahead and again disrupt in Afghanistan. So we're going to go ahead and use Kashmir for the... which card am I going to hold on to? Can I afford to hold on to a card? FREs is meh, because that does place a bunch of cells in Iraq, which is no good. I would prefer not to have that played. I'm going to go ahead and play Kashmir for the 3 ops. So we'll do the event. Pakistan shifts 1 towards adversary, so it goes to neutral, and a cell is placed there. I believe the cell being placed there removes the cadre. We are going to again disrupt in Afghanistan, which removes the cadre and giving us a prestige. This has the positive benefit of preventing the jihadists from recruiting in Afghanistan, because you have to have a cell or cadre there to recruit. So essentially Afghanistan is now cell-free. Hopefully cell-free, unless some jihadist event comes along and screws it up. Okay, so that was both of our cards. We now go to resolve plots. There are 2 plots happening in Iran. All these things will do is they will increase the funding to the maximum. So that happens. But, I mean, we were able to mitigate a really, really bad card, and the effects on the jihadists were minimal. Their funding's already maxed out for all I care, so no problems there. Okay, it is back over to the jihadists with their 2-card play. And their first card is going to be Let's Roll. Play if there is a plot in an ally or good country. There are no plots because this is the first card. And coincidentally, they are going to use this... No, they're not going to use this card to plot. They are going to use it for normal operations. Okay, so we have 2 operations. We have to ask ourselves the 3 basic questions. Is a major jihad possible? We're getting really close to in Egypt and Saudi Arabia, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, the next question is... Just checking. The next question is a jihad possible in good or fair countries? No, there are no cells in good or fair countries, so that does not occur. Okay, next is, are there cells available? And the answer is yes. Yes, there are cells available. Okay, so they are going to attempt to recruit in, let's see here. So they're going to recruit, and they are going to recruit, okay, so they're going to recruit in a regime change country where troops minus cells is greater than or equal to 5. The only place where that's true is Afghanistan, but they cannot recruit in Afghanistan because they don't have a cell or a cadre there. So it skips over that. They don't recruit. Now, normally in regime change countries, recruits happen automatically, but you still have to meet the precondition of having a cell or cadre there. So that's why we did that double disrupt there. Okay, next up is in Islamist rule with cells less than 2 times the ops. Okay, so this is, I believe, a 2 ops card. So we have 2 operations to play with. So 2 times 2 is 4, and there are only 2 cells there. So a recruit attempt will be done in Somalia. But remember, we are playing on a difficulty level that includes attractive, which means that every recruit success places 2 instead of 1. So when we recruit in Somalia, one of the 2 operations will be spent recruiting. That will place 2 cells there. And so that will meet the condition of Islamist rule of cells less than 2 times the ops, which means only one of our 2 operations is spent. We still have 1 operation left to use. Okay. Excuse me. So the next thing to look at is, okay, we are going to recruit in a non-Islamist rule, non-regime change country with the highest recruit success roll. And if we look at all of the possibilities, so all of the poor countries are available, but there are, of course, priorities you have to look at. And so the first priority is, okay, besieged regime. There are no besieged regimes on the map, so that doesn't help. And then we look at most cells plus troops. Okay, so you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, oh, well, Iraq is, but no, that's a regime change country. The other possibilities are Egypt, Saudi Arabia, but that has 2 cells. That's 2 cells plus troops. Really, when we look at it all, I believe the answer is Pakistan, because Pakistan has 2 troops in a cell. That's a total of 3 pieces. So that is the highest That means we're going to recruit with the last one in Pakistan. Okay, so Pakistan gets a recruit roll, and they get a 2, which is a success. And remember, each success places 2 cells. So there are 2 more cells that will appear in Pakistan. Okay, that was the 2 ops, and that is the end of that card. The next card is Fatwa. Play if both sides have cards beyond this one. And so this is a playable non-US event. Oh man, this could go bad so quickly. Trade random cards. Okay, so we will trade random cards between us. I will have the jihadists give us their top card, because that's just how it works. So we'll flip that over. Uh-oh. Well, it's a good thing, I guess, we got that card and they didn't, because that means we can hold on to it. Okay, so they're going to get one of our random cards of these 6 cards. So we're going to roll a die, and they will get one at random. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, we can't just give them back the card we got. So here we go. They get a 5. They get Predator, which I guess is okay. So that guy goes right there. Okay, so this is Fatwa being played. We hit the random cards, and now they will conduct an operation with this card. Okay, so when you conduct an operation with this card, you follow the 3 steps. Okay, is a major jihad possible? No, we're still not there yet. I mean, Pakistan's getting kind of close. They're 2. Yeah, they are 2 cells away from being able to conduct a jihad there. But still not. As a jihad in good or fair countries, that's the Gulf states and Central Asia. Nope. Next up is, are there cells available? No, there are no more cells available. So we will instead perform travel. Okay, so traveling is going to occur. And I believe we had a total of 1 operation point. Yeah, so it's going to be 1 single operation point. Okay, so we go to the travel section. We see, okay, so they're going to go to a non-Islamist rule country with besieged regime, then regime change, and then aid. Okay, so there's no besieged regime countries, but there are 2 regime change countries, and we have 2 possibilities. We have Iraq and Afghanistan. So we have to consult the priorities, and the priorities are Pakistan and then the highest resource. So the conclusion is a cell will travel to Iraq because Iraq has more resources. It's a 3 versus Afghanistan's 2. 1, I mean. Apologies. Okay, so we know 1 cell is going to travel to Iraq. Where's it going to come from? It says here, Islamist rule with cells greater than ops, and that is Somalia. Somalia is the only Islamist rule country, and they have 4 cells, which is more than the 1 op. So 1 cell is going to attempt to travel from Iraq to Somalia to Iraq. They have to roll because this is a travel operation, and they get a 5. Okay, so 5 is higher, which means they get sent off to the funding track. They were caught by Iraq's poor airport security. They did their job, and the cell is out. Okay, that is the end of that event text, but this is an unassociated event, so we still have to do a 1 operations with Fatwa. Okay, so again, when we ask the 3 questions, no jihad things have changed, but there is a cell available now, so they will attempt to recruit. Although there's only 1 cell available, and since I'm playing on that higher difficulty level, which places 2 cells, can it be considered available? I would think so. I'm gonna roll with the. I'm gonna go with the statement that there is a cell available, even though if a recruit success was successful, it wouldn't place 2; it would only place 1. Let me know if you guys think that's appropriate or not. And here we go. So we're gonna go and recruit. So in regime change country, where troops minus cells are greater than or equal to 5, Afghanistan meets that condition, but there is no cell or cadre there, so. No recruits there. In Islamist rule with cell less than 2 times the ops value of that card was a 1, so 2 times that is 2, so Somalia is not going to be recruited there. And then we have in a non-Islamic rule, non-regime change country with the highest recruit success roll. And again, if we follow the priorities, we get to besieged regime no, most cells plus troops, and that is going to be Pakistan yet again. So Pakistan's going to get a recruit attempt, and they are going to roll a die, and they get a 2. So 1 cell pops into Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan's becoming a problem. Well, all of these countries are becoming problems. They're just 1 cell away from that happening. But that was their 2 cards. Okay, so it's over to us with our 1 operation. Okay, Abu Ghraib is essentially unplayable. Alright, I think I want to try and clear out Afghanistan, because that would free up my troops, and that could be used for deploying into other countries if needed. Well, we're soft too. Don't get me wrong, this isn't great. But I want to try my luck here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play Al Jazeera, which is an event that happens because play if Saudi Arabia or an adjacent country has troops. There is a country adjacent to Saudi Arabia that has troops. There's both Iraq and the Gulf states. So whenever you have multiple choices, you consult the minor jihad portion of the where section of the player aid, and you first of all do alignments among good, then among fair, then among poor. So the answer to this question is we do it among fair. The Gulf states shifts to a neutral country. We have our 3 operations points, and we are going to attempt to do a war of ideas in Afghanistan. We are able to do this because we have 5 more troops than cells, so we're good there. And we're going to roll a die and hope we roll high. We get a 1. Of course we get a 1. That sucks. Wow. Things are not going well, and we just got a fairly bad hand. Okay, for the next card I'm going to play FREs, because they don't have any more cells left, so that's good. We're going to play that, and then we are going to put that 1 operation into reserve, because 1 ops is just not enough to do anything. And we're done. Okay, there are no plots, so it is back to the jihadists with their 2 cards. And their first card is going to be the one we traded. It's going to be Predator. Remove a cell from a Muslim country. This is a playable U.S. event, so there are going to be some plotting happening. Yeah. Okay, so let us see where they will plot. As much as in the U.S., nope. Is prestige low? No, our prestige increased, so now it is possible to plot in... Oh man, I hope I didn't screw up when I did the plots before. Because I think the prestige rose and I did some plotting. I think it's fine. Everything so far has been pretty bad for me, so it should be fine, I hope. So, Abu Saif is in effect, but there are no cells there. And then in countries with troops. So we have 2 possibilities. We have Iraq and Pakistan. So we'll do it randomly because the plot priorities doesn't specify where. So on a 1 to 3, it'll be Iraq. On a 4 to 6, it'll be Pakistan. Actually, this is a 2 ops card. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll 2 die because each can plot up to twice. We get a 3 and a 2, which means the plots will be appearing in Iraq. Okay. We will flip this guy to the active side. So both of these guys are plotting. And we get a 2 and a 1. Oh my gosh, that is 2 successes. So that means a total of 4 plots are going to be placed in Iraq. Oh my gosh. That is horrifying. Okay. So, what now? That was their first card. We're going to do the second card now. Play if no country is under Islamist rule. There is an Islamist rule country, so this is a non-playable U.S. event. There are 3 operation points, so we're going to ask the 3 questions again. Is a major jihad possible? No, not yet. Yeah, not yet. Okay, next question. Is a jihad possible in fair or good? Nope. There are no cells in those good and those fair countries, so we say no. Are there cells available? No. So we will conduct travel instead. All right. So let's see here. Travel. Okay, so travel, we do it 1 by 1. There's going to be 3 of them. Yeah, because it's a 3 ops card. Yes. Okay, so the first one is going to be to a non-Islamist rule country with besieged regime, then regime change, then aid. Okay, so non-Islamist. So there's no besieged regime. There's regime change countries. There's 2 of them, so we have to consult the priorities. We go first to Pakistan, which was included in that, and then the highest resource. So 1 cell is going to go to Iraq. Okay, there's going to be a lot of traveling happening here, so I'm going to sort of open this up. So our first one is going to be to Iraq. Oops, to Iraq. But where is it going to come from? So we look here. Okay, Islamist rule with cells greater than ops. This is a 3 op card, so Somalia doesn't meet it. Okay, next. Regime change country, greater than 5 cells. Okay, that doesn't do it. We go next. Adjacent country. So there's 2 possibilities here. There are 2 countries next to Iraq that are adjacent. There is Saudi Arabia and Syria. So we have to consult the priorities. And it says from travel from does it have active cells? Well, Saudis are sleepers, but Syria is active. So it's going to be a travel from Syria to Iraq. Okay, that is the first card. So the first operation. The second one is to a major country to a poor country where major jihad is possible with +2 cells. All right, so we have multiple possibilities. We have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Pakistan. So we have to consult yet again our priorities. And we look at it and we see Pakistan. So Pakistan is going to be the country that they will travel to. But the question is, from where will they come from? So we look at the from, and we again ask, Islamist rule with cells greater than ops? No. Regime change with more than 5 cells? No. Adjacent country? No. There are no cells adjacent to Pakistan. So we then have to do random, including the destination. Although there are some priorities here, the first one is, are there any active cells, and then not another destination. Okay, so we know the one in Syria is already kind of being used up for travel, but it is included. Although when we then look at the second priorities, we get to not another destination. And the cell in Syria is already going to move to Iraq, so we don't want to move it again. It's going to be lower on that. So when we look at this, we say, okay, we're going to have a cell travel that's active. So that means a cell from Iraq, because the Iraq ones are active. So we're going to have a cell travel from Iraq to Pakistan. Okay, we have one more travel op. So the third one is going to be to a good or fair Muslim country with a cell adjacent. Okay, there are 2 possibilities. No, there's only one possibility, I believe. Yes. Central Asia has no cell adjacent, so that is out of the question. But the Gulf states does have cell adjacent, so there will be a travel attempt to there. Okay, so we're going to have the Gulf states as the target of that operation. And then we are going to see where it's going to come from. And again, Islamist rule of cells greater than no, regime change no, adjacent country. And when we look at adjacent country, we again see has active cells. So once again, we come up with Iraq. So Iraq, 2 Gulf states is going to occur. Okay, let's execute these one at a time. So we're going to save the notes and then open up again. So we're going to have the first one be Syria to Iraq. Now this is adjacent, so it succeeds. So he's just going to go over there. You know, this is actually all simultaneous. Yeah, this is all, I believe this is all simultaneous. And this is important because there might be an evaluation that occurs that makes things a little trixies. So, let's see. Finally, conduct all travel. Avoid, okay. First select countries with at least 1 active cell. Not yet commit, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I guess we kind of do it all together. So, or maybe one at a time. I think you have to wait for the evaluation perspective. You don't move the cells and then evaluate, but instead you actually move these and then go from there. And the reason why this is important is if the jihadists ever try to move a cell, the last cell in the regime change country or Islamist rule country, they actually will not, and they will instead just travel in place. That's why this is potentially important. Anyway, I'm going to do this sequentially. So Syria to Iraq. The next one is a cell from Iraq to Pakistan. This is not adjacent, so they're going to have to roll. And they get a 1. They succeed. Oh well. So this guy goes to sleep, and then he gets to Pakistan. The next is Iraq to the Gulf states. So again, this active guy is going to go to sleep and go to the Gulf states. Alright, that was both of their cards. It is over to us now to handle the quadruple plot attempt in Iraq. Oh my god. This kind of makes Abu Ghraib playable. There's no way I'm going to spend 3 op cards to alert that. I think it's just, you know... I think we have to just go for something here. Maybe make it Abu Ghraib. Shift an ally to neutral. Okay. Alright, let us go ahead and... yeah. Let's go ahead and play Abu Ghraib. Kind of shooting myself in the foot here. I'm going to do the 3 operations first, and I'm going to do a War of Ideas roll in Afghanistan, and hope that some good comes out of it. We get a 5. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That improves the governance to fair. Alright. That's good to see. Now the bad things happen. So, play if any cells are in a regime change country. Yes. There is unfortunately a cell in Iraq. Oh, I could have technically double disrupted there. And then I could have played that safely. But our prestige, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so play if any cells are in a regime change country. Draw 2 cards. So the jihadists will draw 2 cards. So draw. And they will play with these 2 next. -2 prestige. And then shift an ally to neutral. This is a rough card. So ally to neutral. So which ally do we shift to neutral? We consult the minor jihad, the minor jihad portion, and we see, okay, first among good countries, then among fair countries. So Afghanistan is going to shift to a neutral country. Okay, so that was the first card of our play. And this guy is removed from the game, thankfully. So he's gone. But we have accomplished our risky play. And we are now going to play Mass Turnout for 3 operations. Not for 3 operations, for the event. Which is play if there is a regime change country. And there is. There's Afghanistan and there's Iraq. I'm going to pick Afghanistan. And I'm going to say, Afghanistan, mission accomplished. You get to good governance. And this has the wonderful side effect of converting the country out of regime change country, and it is now a good country, which means that our mission has been accomplished. I'm pretty sure that is the case. It doesn't have to be an ally when it gets to good. I'll just double check that really quickly, though. So let us see here. Regime change countries. Immediately remove any regime change marker from a country whose governance shifts to either good or Islamist rule. Okay, and I'm pretty sure the card that I just threw away did not have a precondition of it having to be an ally. So, mission accomplished. Afghanistan is complete. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have 4 plots going off in Iraq, but we recognize the direness of the situation, and we were smart, and we played cards that kind of nuked our prestige anyway. So our prestige will drop by 4. It just goes to 1, and their funding maxes out. There are no other consequences of this happening, though. No WMDs going off. So these guys go back to the terror deck. Okay, so what's up next? The jihadists have 5 cards to play with still. So their first one is, oh no, it's going to be Lebanon War. But this is a card that is a playable non-US event, but it is an event that places cells. So instead of playing the event, they are going to radicalize. Oh, crikey. This is not good. They are going to radicalize with this card. So they are going to radicalize with 3 operations. All right. The first one is going to be a recruit, but they placement, but they have no cells to place. The second operation automatically travels 1 cell by the flowchart. Yeah. So a cell is going to attempt to travel, and a cell will travel to, let's see here. Okay, so we're going to do a travel. Poor country where major jihad possible if +2 cells. So that is going to be, Pakistan already meets that requirement. It's going to be Morocco, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. That's those 3. So travel to areas is Pakistan. Pakistan's not there. And then the highest resource, which is going to be between Saudi Arabia and Egypt. So we're going to roll a die. It's going to be a 6. So a cell automatically travels there. Where is it going to come from? It's going to come from an Islamist rule country or a regime change country or adjacent country. So adjacent, it's going to be either Iraq or the Gulf states. So we're going to roll a die. 1 to 3 it'll be Iraq. 4 to 6 will be the Gulf states. Okay, we got a 3, which means it's Iraq. However, because this is the last cell in a regime change country, it does not travel. It ignores the destination, and instead it just travels within the country. So essentially it sort of travels in the country, it goes back to sleep, nothing happens. Okay, so that was the first of the 3 radicalization ops. The next one would place a plot if funding was less than 9, but it is not the case. So, and this sucks, for the remaining 2 operations, they are going to degrade a random good or fair Muslim country to by 1 governance level. So we're going to go ahead and assign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just roll away. So Afghanistan goes back down 1 to fair. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the Central Asia goes to poor. I want to make a very quick note here. Let's just count up some countries here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe that is 10, yeah. Yeah, we have 10 countries of poor and our prestige is 1. If 5 more countries go to poor, the game is over and we lose. So we need to fix our prestige. There's just many fires we have to put out. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? Okay, that is the end of that, I guess. So their second card is going to be Amerithrax. Oh my gosh, more card discarding. The U.S. discards their highest value U.S. associated event if it has any. Yep, that's going to be Colonialist Republic. So that guy's gone. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Alright, and it's over to us. We have one operation. We have one card that we can play. And I don't think there's anything we can do with that one card. I think the... Oh wait, we have a 1 in reserves. We could get it to 2. But our War of Ideas is just so low. Wow. This is really bad. And they're going to convert this, so... We're going to hold on to this card. At least we can kind of recover a bit if we play it. But I don't see good things happening. Okay. Then our next card is going to be Gitmo. Guantanamo Pens Suspects Offshore. So this is a playable non-US event, so it's going to be played. Okay. Does the event recruit or play cells? No. It prevents the recruiting of cells. So this guy happens. We're going to go ahead and mark it. Gitmo basically prevents the jihadists from recruiting, but it also rolls their prestige. So we're going to go ahead and place a marker to indicate that. No special... and also prevents detainee release as well, which is, I believe, a jihadist card. It's not a really important one, but you know, it's there. Okay, so we're going to do the event first. We're going to roll prestige. And this has absolutely no downside. It could have a positive side. We're going to roll a die here. We get a 1, which means our prestige is going to go down. It would go down by 5, but thankfully we're already at 1, so no bad stuff there. They have their 3 operations, though, and they are going to use those 3 operations. We ask the big 3 questions again, and the answer is they can conduct a major jihad in Pakistan, and they are going to do just that. So with their 3 operation points, they are going to flip all their guys face up, and then they are going to roll 3 die. Whoa! They failed! That's great. They only got 1 success. They need to get 2 successes. So 2 of these were failures, which means they get sent off to the funding track. And there was only 1 success. Now, I believe there is a section where, let's see, jihadists. Yes, major failure. If 3 rolls at poor fail to shift the country to Islamist rule, shift it 1 box towards ally, they're basically calling for help, and place a besieged regime marker. Okay. Bit of luck there on our side. So their next attempt will be at 1. They only need 1 success, so it's going to probably happen. But bit of luck there for us. Okay, that was their 2 cards? No, that was their first card. This is going to be their second card. India-Pakistan talks. Play a Pakistan good or fair. They are not, so this is a non-playable US event. Good or fair. They're at poor. Okay, so this is going to be a triple operation. And let's see here what they do. Is a major jihad possible? No. Is jihad possible in fair good? Yes. There is a cell lingering in the Gulf states. So that cell will attempt to perform a jihad. We roll a die, and it comes out as 4, which means it gets sent off to the funding track. So, failure there. There are no more minor jihads that are possible, so instead, radicalization will occur. So we have, remember that was a 3 ops card. The first one was used for that jihad. The next one is going to be to randomly place a cell somewhere on the board. And the result is going to be 5 and 2. 5 and 2 is Jordan. So a cell makes his way over to Urdun. Okay, so we have to get there. We test the posture, and it comes out to be a fair country. Oh, nice. That's handy. The next operation will travel a cell automatically. So let's see here. Travel. Poor country where major jihad possible of +2 cells. Yes, that is possible. There are multiple choices. But when we look at the travel to priorities, we see that Pakistan is the highest one. So a cell is going to travel to Pakistan. From where? From Islamist rule of greater than... Nope, there's 3 ops. Nope, that doesn't work. Adjacent regime change with greater than 5 cells. No. Adjacent country, there are no cells adjacent to Pakistan. So it's going to be random, including the destination. Now, yeah. So there are 2 possibilities to consider because the first priority you look at is, are there any active cells? And the answer is yes. There is 1 in Somalia, and there are 3 in Pakistan. So I'm not going to weigh it based on the number in each. I'm going to roll for the country itself. So 1 to 3, the cell will come from Somalia. 4 to 6 will be Pakistan. We roll on, it's going to be Pakistan. So the cell just travels within Pakistan and goes back to sleep. So that's the end of that operation. The next one is, and that's it. That we use all of the operations, 1 for travel, 1 for the placement in Jordan, and then, of course, the jihad that occurred in the Gulf states. Okay, that was the end of that. Notice that even though Gitmo was in effect, we were able to radicalize and place the cell because that, I believe, does not affect Gitmo. Gitmo doesn't affect that placement there. It only affects recruiting. Okay, that is our 2 cards, and it's back up to us. We have 1 card left. We are yet again going to hold on to that card and just wait a little bit longer. And then we are going to have the jihadists play their last card, which is Morotox. This is a playable US event because Abu Sayyaf is in effect, and it can happen. So they're going to plot with this guy. Okay, so plotting in the US. Nope. Prestige low. Yep. Geo penalty greater than 0. Nope. It is equal to 0. But they aren't any soft countries, so we skip that. In the U.S., countries with the U.S.'s posture, that's that, sorry. In countries with 8, there's no 8 on the board. Funding equals to 9, yes it is. So then they would radicalize that one up. And so they will do that random move. Oh, a cell gets to the United States. Uh-oh. That's a little bit freaky. So cell arrives in the U.S. That's a result of a 1-1, or a 1-2 if it came out that way. Okay, so they're about to take over Pakistan and they have a cell in the U.S. That is scary, scary times. Alrighty. With my last operation, I am going to spend this 1 operation point, combine it, and I guess I'm just going to have it be wasted, I guess. I'm going to move all these troops, cells, back to the United States. And this has the good consequence of moving us from Overwatch to War. So now we will draw 8 cards instead of 9 cards at the end of our turn. I like to leave the troops in Afghanistan just in case anyone showed up, but you know, what you gonna do? Okay, so let's go ahead and do the end of turn stuff here. So, because we've played all our cards. The jihadists lose the funding. The United States loses the prestige if there is an Islamist rule country. Yes, that is the case. So we go down to, stays at 1. We gain a prestige if the world is on the same posture as us at 3, and it is. So we actually go up 1, which is nice. We end up at 2. We remove lapsing events. Gitmo is gone. Gitmo has been closed down, I guess. Reserves are set to 0, so we lose that 1 reserve card play that we did. We deal a new hand of cards, and then regime markers go to 10. That's a little thing there. Okay, so the jihadists will get 9 cards, and the U.S. will get 8 cards. So a quick note here. I know whenever you deal out cards, you actually do it back and forth, and I think you start with the jihadists first. I only do that if we get to the end of the deck. Otherwise, I just deal out 9, 8. I mean, it's as random can be, right? So 9 cards for the jihadists. And then 8 for the U.S. Okay, we will not look at our cards yet. We'll be surprised later on. Let us give let us check the victory condition markers here. So at one point, Afghanistan was good, but then it collapsed down to fair. There's 1 Islamist rule resource, so they're 1 out of 6 up towards winning the game. There are a total of 3 fair countries, and a total of Yeah, there's 10 poor countries. Okay, things are not looking great, but we had a couple of lucky breaks from the jihadist side when they failed to convert Pakistan to Islamist rule, and a few other things as well. So it is possible to come back from this. It is tough, but it is possible. So we're going to keep slogging it through, and please join me for the next video of turn 3 of this Let's Play Labyrinth, The War on Terror. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.